There's going to be a new Bachelor in town, but he is not looking for,
not looking for them.
Get rid of them. He's not
looking for him.
Not interested. There's going to be a gay Bachelor. The name of the show is not Gay Bachelor, but it is on a logo. It's going to be on the logo network. It's called Finding Prince Charming.
Okay, so we're talking 13 guys. They're shooting it right now in LA, in a mansion. There are 13 male contestants that have been cast. And here is the Bachelor. His name is
Robert Sepulveda Jr.
Robert Sepulveda Jr. He is an interior designer who lives in Atlanta from Puerto Rico. And he is going to choose among the 13 contestants. They should have found somebody in shape. Yeah.
So he's an interior designer. Okay, good. Successful, I take it? Obviously, he must be
pretty successful.
They're not going to put like
wait.
some schlub in there, right?
He's Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere Ricky Martin's like, how did I let this guy get over?
Wow, look at that. That's a nice shot. Is that where was that?
Who cares?
What are we doing now? What are we doing now, guys?
What are we doing? Can we get to
where is that?
Harvey, I don't know.
That's
Puerto Rico, probably.
What are we doing?
Okay, well, here's what we're doing, Van. We're talking about the fly in the ointment, so to speak.
Hold on. Before you throw this theory out there, you need to own this and say, this is your theory, and do not put this on anyone in this room, okay?
I'm fine with that.
Your theory.
I'm fine with that. On all of these shows, the end game for a lot of people who are on these shows is, or the middle game is, they want to have sex. And they want to try people out, they want to check. That's happened to The Bachelor for 15 years
But they're having sex with the person that they're all trying to...
That's right, because up to this point...
They're using sex to get the person.
Up to this point, it's all been straight. So if it's, a Bachelor, you've got 15 women, each of the women is interested in the guy, and if it's a Bachelorette, so there's never an issue of what goes on in the house. Here, you've got 13 guys, all of whom have... presumably some kind of an attraction to the people in the house and varying degrees.
No. Presumably they're there for Robert Sepulveda Jr.
Robert Sepulveda. They want to find love. They want to find the one person. They want to see Bobby J.
What if
Try to get to Bobby Jr., baby?
What if one of the guys who is a contestant turns out to be even more appealing than Bobby J or Bobby S.? Who, by the way, they didn't know who he was even. I mean, they're not showing them pictures of this guy in advance. So
yeah, but they're not showing pictures of the people that are.
Okay, do you really believe that you're not going to have inner-house banging going on this show?
What I really believe is that, Harvey, that these guys can keep their eye on the ball long enough to get to Robbie.
On the prize.
Well, I didn't mean it. I didn't even mean it like that.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I did not mean it like that. But you're making it seem like as soon as they get in there, that they are just going to be ravenous and like
You're making it sound like gay men can't be in the...
Right.
You totally are saying
They're there for a show.
Guys,
they're there for a show.
You're saying that you're putting in 13 contestants
that
won't be able to keep control of themselves because they don't want love, they just want to have sex.
By the way, no, not at all. What I'm saying...
That's what you said. It's going to be a bang fest. Is what
Hey,
like, what else do you want me to use?
Do you
There's
think,
banging.
Do you think that 13 guys are not probably appealing guys on all sorts of levels because that's who they're going to be casting for the show? So if they're looking for...
But they're going in there for a purpose, and you're saying that they can't go after that purpose because they're going to go off and try to find another guy in the home to find love, to find a relationship. I know people on that show are good people that can be in a relationship.
So why can't they find a relationship among the 13 as opposed to this one guy?
Because that's not the show. That's not the point of the show.
Yeah, it's not the point of the game, Harvey.
No, they're not in a game. They're looking for a relationship.
Well, that happens
to be in a game, which is why they're on the show.
So if a guy decides, you know what I really care about, I don't care about winning this thing. What I care about is a relationship. And if I found, contestant number 7, who I'm really into, I won as far as I'm concerned.
Here's the question.
Why can't they say that?
The goal, do we know, is the goal to be married, that you're going to marry this person? Because then the show is going to give you things also if you like you'll probably get a ring, right? you'll probably get.
What if the guy says, "I want a
relationship"?
Look at
You're
Charles.
not going to get all those things.
Charles struggling to
not going to get all those things.
Gold digger.
No, and I'm saying you're not going to get those things if you just go after if you don't play the game.
Digger, you're on a reality show to win a prize.
No, you're on a reality show. Don't you listen to the fantasy?
Oh, wait a second.
You're on a reality show
here.
to find love, man.
Well, then you're on a reality show to get fame and win a prize.
That those reality shows are
and if you can,
BS.
this time you can find love in the house with the contestants. And if some guy is more appealing than Mr.
Just because you're yelling doesn't mean it's a better point.
Just because
seriously.
Atlanta, I'm telling you.
Don't you think that logo has a responsibility to the community at some point to not make it look like a ravenous sexual thing and maybe finding love? I mean, they have a lot of responsibility on their end.
The Bachelor is a ravenous sexual
But they've also
thing.
had 15 seasons or more than that. Like, I mean, at this point, we've been waiting a long time for this. It's finally happening, and you would hope that they would take the responsibility and run with it instead of just making it look like a sex show. Why not just have a
When are we going to get a black Bachelor?
Hey, guys,
whoa. That's the question. Let's move the goalpost a little bit.
This is moving on, right?
Yeah,
you got it. Good. All right, we're happy. It's good. There should be a gay Bachelor.
Yeah, there should
be. But now there should be a black Bachelor.
And you know what? And there's going to be a lot of banging in the show. And so what? And so what? And it's like there's no. I'm serious. What logo is now the LGBT center? Come on. It's going to be a lot of banging.
It kind of is, isn't it?
No.
Why do you want it to be banging so bad? That's what I want to know.
Because it's real. Because it's real.
It's not real. You don't know.
Sure I do.
Anthony's saying, is this
absolutely.
a war?
We're not gonna have a gay off.
Oh no, we gotta have a gay off.
We should have a little.
We're not having a gay off. No, you can each have
13 guys all want to find a relationship. If 5 of them find relationships and one of them has it with The Bachelor and 4 of the others get a relationship with people in the house, everybody wins.
But the show falls apart then.
Well, that's why.
So it's not good from a production standpoint.
You're right.
But you're saying people win if they have sex.
Show.
That's what you're saying. People win if they have sex.
No, get relationships. Sex is a part of a relationship.
But these people are going in to find love. If they wanted sex, they'd just go to a club, or they'd find somebody on an app or something like that.
Help me out here, but isn't sex part of a relationship?
It is part of a relationship.
Well, then
when you're going into a game to find and end love, you're not going to deter away from that to have sex with somebody else and lose out. That doesn't make sense.
Unless those guys in the house are the guys that could be the end game and the person they really want to be with.
Then you take that after the show. If you're eliminated, you're both
you guys
then figure that out.
Call a gay truce now? Is it over? It's
we have a white flag.
Hi, this is Samuel from Atlanta, and I just want to say I really do agree with Harvey. It's going to be a lot of extracurricular activities going on in this house because gay men, I mean, not saying that they're promiscuous, but they're going to see people that they like outside of The Bachelor. And yes, The Bachelor is the end game, but it's all about fun at the same time. So I bet they're going to be having fun.
And nothing wrong
Controversial.
with it. By the way, guess who's hosting?
Lance Bass.
Lance Bass.
Yeah. So there you go.